Hi again, it's Crystal. So this is literally like the third time I've tried to do this today. The first time my viewfinder was like down too low, and so I looked like this. And I didn't know. And so until I went to try to edit it, and it was like not good. It's not a good look. Not a good look at all. So we're trying it again, and hopefully it works better. This is the way I'm going to be doing book reviews on my channel. So I don't read enough to warrant an entire wrap-up, but I am going to be doing 5 books at a time, and I will be focusing on the first 5 books that I've read this year right today, and then the next video will be about the next 5, and then the next 5, and the next 5, and that's how I'm going to be talking about books right now. Hold on, my nose itches. So let's get started. The first book I read this year was called The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale, and that's a middle grade book about a young girl named Anadora. It follows her as she realizes she's not going to become queen, but they are, as a political as a political exchange, she is to marry this other boy who's also a prince of a different land. But she sets off on this adventure to find him, and so that's where the story kicks off. She meets a lot of quirky characters. She kind of becomes who she wants to be and slowly understands how she's going to lead and how she's going to make changes to the kingdoms. Very cute, not necessarily groundbreaking, but definitely a good, solid read. And I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And then the second book I read was the the companion novel to Furthermore, which is titled Witchwood by Tahara Mafi, which is also a middle grade book. And it follows this young girl named Laylee who lives in a world where she's in charge of taking the dead bodies of people and treating them with respect and sending them off to the afterworld with respect and dignity. And she is losing her magical ability. And so enters the protagonist from Furthermore, who's named Alice, and she comes in to kind of help her figure out her issues and how to save her magic, because her magic is dying, and this is something that really needs to be done, because if it isn't done, like, some really bad things could happen. And so it follows them and their friendship, and how Laylee has never had to have friends before, and she has to navigate asking for help. And then Alice also needs to learn how to allow others to make decisions and to not force change on other people. And I felt like this was really well done. I love Tahara Mafi's series, Furthermore series. I feel like it's very well done, very captivating, and just a really cool way, really cool story. And so if you haven't picked that up, I would definitely recommend that. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then the third book that I read this year is called There's Someone Inside My House by Stephanie Perkins, and this was tagged as a slasher novel. And if you know anything about Stephanie Perkins, she is a contemporary writer, if you ever could say. Like, she's huge, but not just contemporary, but like love story, rom-com, chick lit, YA fiction type writing, and now she's delving into this world of thriller and slasher, and it intrigued me, to say the least. It intrigued me. So I picked it up, hoping for the best. And it follows this young girl, this teenager named Makani, who moves from Hawaii to Nebraska. And you don't really know why, but there is definitely some big reason why she moves. And it follows her. She's making friends in Nebraska, and also her and her friends, after the murders start happening within her school, they kind of group together trying to find out who has done it. And now, I understand that she probably wanted to just try a different genre. This book did not hit the points for me. It fell completely flat. I felt like it was too predictable, and not predictable in a fun way, but predictable in an annoying way. And then it was also kind of hard to follow, like things were happening so fast, but not like at a fast pace, like, oh, I can't wait to know what happens. It's more like, wait, what's happening? What? I don't get this. I don't understand. And so I kept having to reread parts because I had missed like who actually died, and then I had missed a lot of like character development, or at least I thought I was missing character development because I was getting characters confused, and that was just because the characters weren't fleshed out well enough. And so I gave this book a 2 out of 5 stars. It didn't hit the points that I wanted it to, and I was in the mood for a thriller, and it just kind of felt like a kitten in wolf's clothing, where it's like, oh, it's scary. It's so scary. Let me scare you now. I'm so scary. And it was like, no, you're not. Actually, you're just a little bit annoying, and I'm gonna just put you in this box and forget about you. That's how I felt about it. Next book I read, Summer Lost by Ali Condi. And if you've heard of Ali Condi, she wrote the Matched trilogy back in the times when dystopian was really crazy and everyone was wanting to read them. I enjoyed the Match series. I haven't actually reread them since then, but I did enjoy it, and so I thought, okay, I'll pick up this book. And so I picked up this book, and it was sweet. It's a middle grade, and it follows this young girl named Cedar, which, by the way, that's a really, really cute name. And she's 11 to 13, and she moves from one city to the other after a tragic event, and she finds this theater Shakespeare festival in the new town she lives in, and she just falls in love with it, and she finds herself getting a job there as she meets this young boy, Theo, and they become friends, and it's just super sweet, and it's just about them becoming friends. And then there's also this element of mystery that they are trying to figure out in regards to like this famous girl that used to live in their town that disappeared way back, like a very long time ago, and it's kind of like a famous story, and they're trying to piece the things together, and it was just sweet. It was just kids being kids, and I liked that. I would definitely recommend this to somebody who is just barely starting to read chapter books, because it reads very, very simply and very easy to follow. Definitely enjoyed it. Gave it 3 stars. It was just sweet. The next book I read was actually, I read 2 books, and I'm going to kind of couple them together because they are a duology, and that is I don't know what the name of the duology is, but it's This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. And this is my very first Victoria Schwab book. I tried to read A Darker Shade of Magic once, and it just wasn't, I just had too much going on at the time, so I put it down and haven't picked it back up. But I decided to pick this up, and I'm so glad that I did, because so far it is the best book I've read this year. And it follows this girl named Kate Harker, and she lives in this world where everyone sins and have been personified into monsters, and everything is chaos, and so people use their money to buy them safety. And her dad is actually the leader of this front, so people pay him tons and tons of money in exchange for safety. And it kind of follows her as she's trying to figure out who she is in this world of monsters. It's so cool. The way it's written is just very well done. And I'm not going to go into Our Dark Duet, obviously, for spoiler reasons, but I was definitely enthralled with this, and it drew me in, and I can't wait to reread it. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, that's it for this video, and I hope that you guys really enjoyed me talking about these books. If you have read these books, please leave comments down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you had the same thoughts I did or if you had different thoughts. So I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Okay, bye.